How's it hanging, friends and family? If you don't know me, my name is Scott from Capital City Baptist Church, and this is our Daily Devo. Well, it's been quite the journey through the book of Philippians, and today our trek finally comes to a close. So go ahead and in a few moments, you're going to pause the video, and you're going to go and read Philippians 4, verses 21 through 23, and as always, if you don't have a Bible handy, we will have a link somewhere in the description or the blurb above that will take you to the passage via Bible Gateway. So go ahead and pause and come back and we will chat. So here we are at the end of Paul's letter in the church of Philippi. Now remember that Paul is sitting in a Roman prison for preaching the gospel. He is writing to a people that are facing discrimination and persecution for their faith. And Paul does not know whether or not he's even going to survive his imprisonment or be martyred for the faith. So as he signs off, he is going to relay a few simple but final wishes, and if you blink, you'll miss them. He opens his final remarks by telling the Philippians to greet all people in Christ. In the first century, just as it is today, there were a ton of things that Christians could divide over, whether it was doctrinal issues like circumcision, or political issues, or even class issues, or even racial issues. Rome in the ancient world was completely stratified across socioeconomic, gender, class, and racial divides. Christianity was unique in their equality. For the first time, the rich and the poor, slave and nobleman, man and woman are all invited to sit at the same table of fellowship in Jesus Christ. What united them was the shed blood of Christ, and that is far greater than anything that could separate them or us in the world. Paul doesn't take sides in the divisions. Instead, he just encourages the Philippians to greet and show hospitality to all, not just the Christians that we like, but all Christians. In today's culture, I'm not just talking about the culture of the world, but even in the culture of the church, there is a lot that we can divide over, whether it be social, class, political ideologies, secondary doctrinal issues, gender, race, all of that stuff we can divide over, and people have a lot of opinions about everything these days. I watch a lot of YouTube, and maybe too much YouTube, but there's this one content creator that keeps popping up into my recommended videos. I don't know how he got into my algorithm, but I wish he would just go away, because this is a Christian YouTuber who 90% of his videos, he's just calling out other Christians that he feels are, second-class Christians to him. He's a better Christian, I guess. I don't know. He just spends most of his time calling these Christians out, and it's really disturbing to me how big of a following he has. Social media has tragically become a battleground for Christians to fight each other over these political and doctrinal, racial issues. And it is just such a shame. I want to encourage you to examine the people that you follow, the posts that you like and share, and ask, is this person or content building up the Church of Christ, or is it tearing down and dividing the church? The world is watching, and I fear what they see as we act so divisively toward one another. Finally, Paul encourages the Philippians who have been suffering for their faith when he tells them that there are Christians who are even with him who are a part of Caesar's own household. These are Christians that are most likely servants or freed slaves that would have been serving in Caesar's home. How is this an encouragement? Well, despite the suffering that the Philippians are experiencing, and despite Paul being in chains and wondering whether or not he's going to lose his life for his work in the faith, the Roman strategy of quashing our faith is not only not working, but it's even penetrated the very house of the most powerful person in the world, who is discriminating and persecuting the church. Paul and the Philippians wouldn't know this, but it would only be a few generations in which the Christian faith would not only be accepted by Rome, but it would become its official religion. And now, as we stand, the church remains strong, and Rome lies in ruins. And the church's footprint is even larger than Rome could have even dreamed to have conquered. Not only is this an encouragement for the Philippians, it is for us as well. Because no matter how uncomfortable things get for us, no matter how bad persecution gets for our global brothers and sisters, or even us someday, we will stand strong. We will withstand. No one in the first century could have even imagined that there would be a day that Rome would fall. And it would have been laughable to say that Christianity would have eclipsed it. Dear Christian, as we live in this world that is increasingly uncomfortable for us to express our faith, I want to encourage you to think of this as an opportunity to live a joyful and loving testimony in spite of the opposition. Don't fall for the temptation to dig your heels in and fight fire with fire. Instead, be known for how you love, serve, and pray for those who oppose you. Well, that was the book of Philippians. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. God bless.